Here we are, an article from The Guardian. So you know it's going to be trash, but it's still very pertinent. Men who go to Ukraine looking for a wife, then fly home alone and broke. I hope you guys are listening. This is shameful. I'll get to the meat and potatoes, get past all their nonsense here. There's nothing like, let's see, there's nothing like the prospect of economic hardship to facilitate intercontinental liaisons. And so, far from the businesses drying up in recent months, the romance and bride trade is booming, and grooming. If anything, there was now more Western men planning trips to Odessa than there were last year when I accompanied a romance tour. They're right to put that in air quotes. To Ukraine for magazine Story. I spent a week in Odessa with 29 men, all of them hoping to find a wife during the trip. They were mainly Americans, but there were also Brits, an Italian, and a Saudi on tour. This is guys flying over here and getting rinsed. And they're looking for wives, of course. They're not looking for a hookup. And this is The Guardian, so they're going to make them the enemy. Except for the branding, which is still somewhat disturbing, the men pay for every minute they chat online to a woman. Wow, this is love. Something that has become clear is a dangerous part of the business model. Yeah, for the men. The company claims in its website that finding a woman in Ukraine is like dating a model, but with the values of your grandmother. Your grandmother is no different from dating the model. She's a woman who's going to use you like any other woman. What they mean as values is that this woman wants a man to become her work slave. Only it's not going to be like that, because this modern era, they don't need to marry a man. They can sell their sex like this in this scam. And that's what women have always done. When they got married, they sell their sex. Now they've got a better outlet for it. Men featured in testimonials of Western women whom they insist have forgotten family values. These men are losers. These are tradcon men, and I'm not quite sure if I should have any sympathy for them, because they're doing it to themselves. The reason why they go on about family values is that they refuse to see what modern life is. They refuse to realize that the girls have never had those values, ever. Not their grandmother either. Let's see what else we got here. Well, I'm looking at some of these. This game time, and they're blowing me off, Todd told me, mystified one day over breakfast. It took the 40-year-old bread delivery man from Delaware several months of working overtime to be able to afford a tour of Ukraine. Look, think how huge the United States is and how many people live there. There's like over 350 million people there. So why you think they, if you live in Delaware, you can't go to, I don't know, New Mexico and find a different bride? All of the American women, yet they're coming over here to the Ukraine and finding they act exact same way. So these guys deserve everything they get for not refusing reality. That's what men are suffering from. They refuse reality. Now, here's what I'm putting. Another man I spent a lot of time with was Stephen, a 62-year-old from Texas, long divorced, who was on his 11th trip to Ukraine with the desperate hope of finding a wife. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You see why I get so pissed off when older generation blame the millennials? This guy's 62. He's retirement age now, as far as I'm concerned. And he's still looking for that special girl after a divorce. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is pathetic. I want a companion because there are things I would like to do back home, but I don't want to do them alone. I want to see the Grand Canyon, but I don't want to see it on my own. I'm tired of having nobody to share my life with. This guy was married once. Does he not have children? He probably has at least one child. So the children don't want to do anything with him. He doesn't want anything to do with the children. And, his daughter is probably shacked up with a guy, and she says, sorry, Daddy, I already got someone paying my bills. And the son is like, Dad, I'm just like you. I'm trying to wrap my life around a woman. So why do I want to bother with you, Dad? And, these guys, where are all their friends? They've been around. This guy's been alive for 60 years, and he doesn't have any male friends to hang with? Of course not. These guys these tradcon losers dump their friends and wrap their lives around a woman. They're pathetic. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But love in Odessa is not all it seems. Perhaps 10 years ago, the scenario would have been what I imagined, with men swooping in and women keen to swap hard grind of poverty-stricken Ukraine for the new life in the U.S., even if it was a ramshackle house in North Dakota or a sleepy Midwestern farm rather than a Manhattan penthouse. My God. Yeah, these women 10 years ago might have been accepted, what can I say? They might have settled. They don't have to settle. They're making tons of money from these lonesome losers coming in and spending all their money, because as soon as this guy's done, there's another guy waiting. This is what women prefer, gentlemen. They do not want marriage with a single payer. If they can get hordes of men coming in, just spending all their money on them, giving them all their money, that's what they want. Let's see what else got. Now it seems things are different. None of the men became close to on my tour ended up in a lasting relationship. Of course not. And the majority appear to fall victim to a number of sophisticated scams. These scams are not sophisticated. They're very simple. These lonely men do not want to deal with reality. So some woman just says, hey, I'll give you some time and give you some breadcrumbs, and maybe I'll allow you to orbit me. Just give me all your money. It's a very simple scam. Now here's one. Emotional prostitution. I was able to uncover exactly how the scam works. Well, duh. The scam's been going throughout history. One of the women involved felt weighed down by her inclusion in what she called emotional prostitution. It's just prostitution. It's just that because they don't have to spread their legs, all of a sudden they'll rename it. She explained the whole sordid array of techniques, from a light and personalized online chatting version to a full-service chauffeur-driven platinum fraud, where men are rinsed for cash for a full week in Odessa, thinking they are cementing a lifelong relationship, while actually they are being strung along on platonic dates that end with them dispatched to the airport with heavy hearts and empty wallets. It's no different from being out west, in the West, I should say, at a bar, spending monies on the drinks for a woman who then can refuse you, who doesn't want anything to do with you. It's not any different. It's the same scam. Many of them combined with ridiculous expectations, of course. Really, but I'm not sure that anyone deserves this treatment. What ridiculous expectations? Well, I said it. They expect some woman to behave like a non-woman and be this fantasy. But of course, this woman is seeing it a different light. When she says a ridiculous expectation, she's like, how dare these men think that they can just buy a woman, even though women are so obviously for sale. But I'm not sure that anyone deserves this. Really? What do you mean she's not sure? Let me tell you, if men were doing this to women, they'd be outraged. And this woman would be saying these guys are scumbags and the law needs to get on them. They deserve jail time. But when when the women are getting it and the men are getting destroyed, she kind of feels sorry. I want you guys to realize the average woman on the street. This woman, writing this article, she's not one of these prostitutes, these official prostitutes. This is how she sees you. You're someone that when she breaks her legs, she kind of looks at all the blood and gore and agony screaming and saying, that looks like it hurts. Maybe, I kind of almost feel bad for this guy. It's like when they hobble the donkey so it can't run away, but they expect it to pull a cart. They can feel kind of sorry for you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. The women as well, although hundreds of them making a living from the scams, not just hundreds, that's the standard. It is not an easy psychological burden to bear. No, like these women are coming face to face to what they're really about. That's what's so hard to bear. Women do not want to think of themselves as bad people or users of men, I should say, but they are. And they're coming face to face with that. And they're hating it, so. Now, look at this. Okay, first, other women were generally looking for a young, interested partner and wanted to leave Ukraine, but spent hours chatting with elderly men in order to make money. First of all, they're not making money. They're scamming money. Secondly, if they wanted a young man from the States, they could find one. No, they preferred this bullshit of trying to say these women were somehow losing on this. It has to be called out. Now, let's take a look at this. Anastasia International, while not directly colluding in the scam, runs a highly profitable business model that allows men to flourish. Well, them to flourish, sorry. While real and lasting liaisons do occasionally form through the site, more often it serves to increase the concentric circles of mistrust, disappointment, and heartbreak for all involved. How are all involved? It's only the men that are getting destroyed. Only the men are being used and scammed. These women could actually get with guys if they wanted to. They can get online and just find some young guy. Anastasia insists it weeds out scams whenever it finds them. The whole thing is a scam. How can it weed them out? You'd have to shut it down entirely. And has banned some women from the site. You know what? It's banned the women who are obvious. That's what it's banned, who they banned for. Okay, now I don't think we should look any more at this. We don't want to dwell. The Guardian is trash. It should be burned. It should be taken down. And this, I think, if nothing else, guys should start talking, in a public forum and talking about this and saying this is how it really is. This is the relationship model. It's not just something that happens. All these guys, all these lonely men searching outside, I mean, they need guys to just come out and say, you're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a sucker. Anyway, that's as far as I'm going to go with this article.